what do you know and what do you say? Hi neighbor, throw all your worries away. You are now in my power, Cookie. You've been hypnotized.
I am in your power.
You will do anything I tell you.
Anything.
In a little while, I will wake you up. And when you wake up, you won't know that I've told you to do anything.
We're gonna clown around.
Oh, look at this horn.
Clown-based life forms.
Welcome back, gentle listeners, to another episode of Clown-Based Lifeforms, the most slopulous program live from Zebulon 5. We need a very, very powerful transmitter to reach Earth. And of course, as you may be aware, this huge transmitter, we had to mine an entire moon in order to set it up. I mean, we had to get rid of some of the locals, but it's fine. It's fine to beam this signal to Earth as part of the new Blue Beans program. Oh, so many beans, so much blue. You guys are, mate, there's gonna be an alien invasion. You guys, you're gonna love it, right? We're gonna be zooming down with the clown noses, right? And the big eyes. We'll be honking all over the place. Humans will be running back and forth, being like, no, not there. And we'll be like, honk, honk. it's gonna be fabulous. How you doing, Aaron?
Well, Captain, all I can say is I'm so proud of this community. At last, we're finally able to put in our Blue Beans project.
Yes, that's right. Well, before we get into that, however, Aaron, we have the matter of your performance review, which is ongoing. I have brought with me today Blarbara from the Dark Dimension, head of Human Resources and Catonic Horror. Say hello, Blarbara. That means hello. I know you don't speak Dark Catonic, but I will translate. Now we have your file here, Aaron, and there is a small matter that we need to raise. It is our understanding that you have at some point in your past actually had sex with a woman. Now, of course, as you know, we frown very, very much on heterosexuality here at Zebulon Brands. It is not quite illegal yet, but we are working the law through. And so we would like to give you a chance to respond to these nefarious accusations of heterosexuality.
I reject all implications of heterosexuality. Okay, it was really dark. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Blarbara is pleased with your response.
Oh, good.
Now we just that's excellent. That's the kind of can-do attitude that we want from someone working for Zebulon. We just wanted to ensure, make sure that you're not going to backslide into heterosexuality. Remember, right? We need to make sure that you and the rest of your species die off slowly and gracefully to make room for the new migrants of Zebulon 3, which are much more tractable. We won't be outlawing heterosexuality for them. I can tell you that much. They breed like rabbits, the Zebulonian 3ers. But, problem with you guys, the Zebulonian 5 natives, right, is just not quite as tractable. You're always asking questions. Now, I know, of course, not you. I mean, you have been great at the not asking of questions and doing whatever you are told. How are you enjoying your small Indian boy, by the way?
Yeah. Spicy.
Son, please do not make me go down to the slop mine, son. Well, that's fabulous. Aaron, any last words from you, Blabra? No, apparently she is also satisfied.
So my only question is, the people from Zebulon 3, is it just more Blabbera?
No, actually, the Zebulon 3s are a subspecies, spawned part Catonic horror and part of a distant race that you may know known as the American Black. It's an amazing combination. They stand around and enjoy chicken and watermelon, but with a dark Catonic twist. Amazing. Basically migrants, but you can control them with dark magic. It's the perfect solution to the age-old problem of how you get a workforce going, without, well, obviously having to listen to any of their requests or stuff like that, right? And you, Aaron, you are a essential part of what we call the slop transition. We'll be getting you to train your species replacement. You should be proud, my boy. Not everyone gets to train. The group that will replace their entire species is a historic period for Zebu Yum.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I have a question about the medal you gave me for this.
Of course.
Every time I think a happy thought, it shocks me. The dick. And is that supposed to happen? I mean, I'm not complaining, but
I think what's happening is that you still have latent heterosexuality, Aaron, right? And since in some part of your brain, this happy thought has somehow been linked to this filthy and forbidden idea of heterosexuality. Don't worry, if you get shocked in the dick often enough, I believe it will go away. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. That's fine.
Well, that's excellent. Your performance review is going up. We should be contacting you within weeks about ascending to the next level in the Zebu Yum family. Are you enjoying your slightly larger pod? I hear it has half a square foot extra.
Yes, and the 3 extra grams of Hot Pocket is greatly appreciated.
You get the special Hot Pockets, the ones that are not filled with broken glass.
Thank you. I'm so happy and I'm proud of this community.
Blabber also wishes you well on your journey. Right? Enough of the stupid intro.
Excellent as always.
I came up with that idea for Blabra. Like I was like late at night and I was like, oh, we need someone from HR. How about like a dark Catonic horror that just speaks in like gurgles and screams?
I'm glad, that's I'm glad that one had time to cook, because if it didn't, and you like came up with it on the fly, it might not have been as pitch perfect as that was.
Oh, thank you very much. So this episode, bros, right? It's been all over the interwebs, the blue beans. Are you guys ready for the alien slop? Oh, this is such a fucking psyop. I am just right, like the general sort of vibe I get from all of this, right? Is they have left this cooking for far too long. Right? No, I'm serious, right?
No, I agree.
Back in the 90s, right, this shit would have like killed, right? Everyone would be like, oh my God, the aliens, oh my God. But now, right, they left it on the burner for like 30 years. It's gone bad, mate. They've cooked it for too long. Shit's been bad. And everyone's like, oh, aliens, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it gonna allow me to buy a house? No, Tim Dillon came up with that line. Fuck, he did a really, really good like monologue on that, and I'm gonna shamelessly steal some points from it. It was so freaking good, mate.
What's hilarious is the people who are the most skeptical are also the people who are the biggest conspiracy theorists.
Oh, I know, it's so weird, right? Like back in the 90s, right? It was all the conspiracy guys like, do you know there's like aliens, mate? there's like
Yeah.
there's 5 different types, mate. Right? There's like the greys, there's like the tall whites, there's like the little blues, the medium reds, right? You got
Lord.
the ones you really got to watch out for are the rainbow colored ones, mate. Right? Like once they fucking get in your society and they start setting up the flags, it all goes to hell, mate. Yeah, it was a whole huge thing, right? Like, and now they're gonna be in the greatest possible irony, right? The very conspiracy sort of like group, right, that was cultivated by the deep state, woo, right, in order to cast aspersions and undermine like very, very real sort of things like, the killing of JFK is probably going to be the strongest people to push back when they come out and they're like, oh yeah, man. So did you know, right, like the Bible's not real and Jesus isn't a thing. The Old Testament, this is the thing, for sure, right? The Old Testament is still going to be fine, right? They're not going to. Oh, stop calling me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be like, no. The Old Testament, mate. The Old Testament is fine, right? It's the New Testament, right? The aliens have said, man, the New Testament. None of that happened. What really happened, right, is like in the book of Zechariah, and they came on down, and an angel like put his weenus inside of like some poor peasant girl, and that's how you got modern technology, bros. That's why you got the pyramids. I used to be really into that.
I know, dude. I'm just waiting for the people who are into this to start Ezekiel posting. And listen, I love a good Ezekiel post, but that's what they're gonna do.
Oh yeah. And there'll be like a revival of Zechariah Stitchin. You ever read Zechariah Stitchin?
I don't think so, no.
Oh my god, I used to be so into Zechariah Stitchin. I was such a fucking retard. So Zechariah Stitchin, he wrote this book called The 12th Planet, right? And this was when I was still sort of like very ignorant about a lot of stuff, right? And he's like, I looked up these like Sumerian tablets, bro, and like honestly, bro, it says in the Sumerian tablets that like, the Anunnaki, they had like nuclear weapons and stuff, and and all this like kind of stuff. And then I find out later that actually the guy didn't understand fucking Sumerian at all, right? He just made a whole bunch of like stuff up and made millions of dollars like peddling this series of books, right? And the whole premise was that the Anunnaki, right, the secret, that the Nephilim, basically, right, the Nephilim, right, they came from a planet outside of the solar system, the 12th planet called Nibiru. Spooky, yes, right?
Yeah.
And all of the ancient alien shit that they can't explain. By the way, did you know tons and tons of the ancient alien stuff that they're still peddling can be explained by this thing called water glass? You know what water glass is?
No.
Oh, check this out. This is fucking hilarious, right? So it turns out if you get granite and you pile a whole bunch of natron on top of it, right? Natron is this stuff, they found tons and tons of it in ancient Egypt. They use it for all kinds of stuff, for mummifying, and it's some kind of acid. Someone in the chat will know, but because this isn't live, I can't ask the chat, right? And the chat's become my second brain, right? It's a kind of naturally derived acid. Anyway, you put natron on top of granite and it softens the granite, and you can then like scoop it out, and then you can mold it into like stuff, and it will dry in that shape.
Wow.
So, yeah. So a ton of these, like, how they like, nobody knows how it is they made these walls that seem to fit together so well. They must have had advanced laser cutting equipment. They didn't have advanced laser cutting equipment. They had natron. Like,
did you see the latest theory that was going around about how they built the pyramids?
do tell.
Okay.
I love a bit of like pyramid posting.
I like the ones where it's like an AI generated video of giants building them and like the little people have enslaved them.
Right.
I like those. And then,
Right.
of course, we've got they use telekinesis or levitation by using frequencies and harmony or something to lift the stones.
Of course. Obviously, the most rational explanation, yes.
Right. And then there's the Zebulonian spaceships lifting the rocks themselves.
Of course.
My favorite. So the latest one is the dumbest thing you've ever heard, but it actually appears to me to be the most likely thing. They simply built the pyramids bigger than they are and then carved them down.
The logic is impeccable. So apparently the thing, I don't know whether this is true. about the pyramids. I saw something saying that they used water glass to make the pyramids. I mean, it would solve like a lot of these questions, right? Because you don't have to haul these blocks up in these preformed shapes. You know what I mean, right? You just make like molds essentially, like for them. You know what I mean? And there's definitely like a bunch of you can look it up, water glass. It's like amazing. When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because you see those things like around Egypt where there's like a big granite block and there are like these scoops taken out of it, right? And you get some guy going, nobody knows how they managed to like make these completely smooth scoops out of the granite. We like theorize they took like a round stone and they beat the crap out of it like a million times. No, they just softened the stone with nitron and they scooped it out.
Oh, but that removes the Zebulonians, which, we of course have to credit for everything.
Yes, well, we really shouldn't be saying this. The Zebulonian Alien Propaganda Bureau, of course, is all over this, right? Like they are very, very interested in having Earth abandon God and turning instead to Zebulon brands.
Yeah, is just a quick question: is Blabulous still on the call? I wasn't looking.
You mean Blabber?
I'm sorry, Blabbera. I'm sorry, Blabbera. I didn't mean to mispronounce it.
she can be if you want to call her back in. I was considering whether I should try and make some like weird like mouth sucking sounds. I was like, how could I do that? I was like, maybe if I take like a spoonful of cream cheese. Like,
oh my goodness.
See, this is what we call cheap practical effects, ladies and gentlemen. But no,
if you didn't like the Star Wars sequels for all the CGI, you're gonna love this.
It's low tech, right? It's flying by wire. We don't have fancy voice changing equipment. I mean, Aaron does, right? Like, but I looked up that freaking voice changing thing you like sent me. I was like, oh my god, the interface is so crap. It's like being stabbed in the eye with like a 80s billboard. Oh god.
Oh, it's trash. It's trash, but it can be useful for pre-recorded stuff.
Oh yeah, I suppose maybe I should get it. You know what I mean? I can have like a robot voice, but I don't want. I want something with like knobs and twiddly. I'm a very, very knob centered individual. Someone's gonna clip that, obviously. Did you say that you were a knob-centered individual? Well, yes, after they outlawed heterosexuality, I had to be, right? Like, what do you want from me?
Extremely large knobs.
Exactly. Extremely large knobs. Oh my god. So yeah. So they're the pyramids and all this crap, and so okay. So just to fill everybody in. The internet has been alight, right? This guy who I've never heard of, right, has come out, and can you believe, right? he said that some other people, not him, obviously, but some other people are grifting off this and making money to sell their book. He says while he's trying to sell his book.
No.
How
could you make such an accusation? Come on.
Buy my book, The 13th Alien. Oh, it's going to answer so many secrets, mate, right? You were told that there was the Majestic 12, that there were only 12 Majestics. Well, there was a secret 13th Majestic, right, that you did not have access to because you didn't have super duper double top Majestic Uber Crown clearance, but I managed to crack the code. I crawled underneath CIA headquarters, right, through the sewerage pipe. I managed to wriggle my way up, and I found the tax records of Majestic 12, and secreted inside were references to a secret 13th Majestic. You remember MJ12, all that shit, right?
Yes, actually, that's early in my research phase for conspiracy theories.
It's all coming back, mate.
You just maybe want to do like a Morgan Freeman impression. News fist climbed through 3 football fields of bullshit to arrive inside Majestic 12 or something like that.
That's a pretty good Morgan Freeman impression. He nearly drowned in sewage, but the urge to find the 13th Majestic Captain, I cannot do Morgan Freeman. I'm not even going to fucking try, mate. It's-
I can't do it either.
Fuck! I hit the fucking keyboard. I was laughing so hard.
Newsfist was laughing so hard he replayed the video. It's not for. It needs work. It needs work. It needs work.
What's the video? No, it doesn't.
No, the voice, the Freeman voice.
Oh, the Freeman voice. Yeah.
Amazing.
Right. So shall we? You know. Oh my god. I'm gonna like burst something. I'm laughing so hard. Right. Shall we get on to the? Oh, actually, wait. We got memes first, right? I gotta show you. I gotta show you some like memes.
Just stamp your meme, Sonny, and stop wasting my time. It's bad. It needs work. Oh,
no, you got the cadence down.
Hell yeah! Let's go.
Scully, look, it's an alien. I can't do Mulder either. Oh my god, it's an alien. Mate, one of the things I love about current year is just they teased it too long, mate. They blue-balled everyone for so long. This shit started off for real. I mean, you know, I guess you could say it like properly started in like Roswell or whatever the hell it was, but it really amped up in the 80s and the 90s, and they just blue-balled everyone for decades, right? Disclosure is coming any day now. Buy my book. You know, 6 months later, disclosure is coming. Buy my second book.
Well, allow me to back up just a teeny tiny bit farther. Please. Yeah. They blue-balled everyone for over a century.
Uh-huh.
Because it was H.G. Wells and his ilk that popularized the idea of visitors from outer space being material beings.
Yes, that's right.
Who were killed by what? Germs.
Viruses. Yeah, germs. Yeah. War of the Worlds. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I totally forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being one of the great controllers, one of the great Fabians. Right. And like, you know, Wells pulls that off and you look around and you're like, we could just fuck with people, man. You know that, right? We can make these people believe anything. The power of media. They must have thought it would never end. Right.
Well, like I know, but and then there's the famous situation of Orson Welles with RKO, where he did a reenactment of War of the Worlds.
That's what I'm referring to. That's right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. So there was the book, and then there was Orson Welles' presentation, and so many people thought the world was actually being invaded. They were calling the police.
That wouldn't work now. That would not fucking work now. Like, who would be the Orson Welles of today? What they're going to get Tucker Carlson to go on? Like, actually, it's aliens. I can't do Tucker Carlson. But you know, right? Like, you know. I've just been told by the White House that aliens are in fact real. No, Tucker would just be like, he'd be like demons. Demons. Apparently they're quite worried about that, actually. That quite a few people are just gonna like say, oh yeah, no, they're demons, right? Yeah, look at this meme.
A demon violently groped me in my sleep, and you're saying that they're physical beings?
I was actually quite unimpressed by the number of people who just like immediately assumed that Tucker must be insane for like saying that. I was just like, bitch, right? Like you clearly you haven't seen the shit that I've seen, man. Like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, what I suggest that we do, right, is that we train a crack force of Orthodox and Catholic priests. Right? Stop the alien invasion. When they land, right, we will send a forward party of priests and exorcists and just go up. We'll get the Catholics and the Orthodox, maybe some of the Lutherans, right? And we'll be like, look, bros, you got to put aside your differences, right? Real shit's going down now. Take up your cross and walk towards the enemy.
You know, it's funny. Because one of the few writers that did not go along with the space aliens psyop, guess who? It's only my favorite guy in the whole planet, Lewis. Yes, that's right. And in his book, it didn't have any space aliens. It had what they called macrobes. which were incorporeal beings that would possess dead things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was the scientific name that the soyance nerds were calling it. They're like, oh yes, we've heard of microbes. Now have you heard of the macrobes?
Macrobes. Oh, I say.
They're just demons.
Speaking of propaganda, I have been watching, rewatching. I haven't seen it since I was like a kid. This show called V. Did you ever watch it?
V,
like the Visitors, right?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Mate, it's amazing. Like, but the thing I discovered is it's straight up Mooish propaganda. Like, and I'm not even joking, right? Like, it was basically made as a sci-fi adaptation of a book called It Can Happen Here, right? Which is basically like about American fascism.
Yes.
And I'm trying to like find this.
V, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
I really don't think I've seen it, but I know what you're talking about on some level.
Wait, I'm just hang on. I've got timestamps, but they don't seem to be working.
Well, speaking of that, actually, there is a good argument that the entire narrative architecture of the alien invasion is of special origin. Which is why it's featured so prominently in the History Channel. That's one reason.
Yeah, I mean, you must have seen that 4chan meme where they're like, History Channel, aliens are real, Bigfoot is real. Here's like World War II. It's like, I can't believe it took me so long.
Right. This concept, I believe, I was some research I was doing a while ago. I wish I could give you receipts, man. I really wish I could, but a lot of that stuff comes from Mooish folklore.
Really?
It really does. Around the same time of Luria and Frank, which are, these they who must not be named kind of things.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff is very, very closely related to those circles.
Do you know something interesting I discovered, right? When I was talking to Grok, right? Did you know, right, that there is actually a split in Moodyism between the Ashkenazi and the Mizrahi over their relationship with God, right? This is dead set fascinating. Well, to me anyway, because I'm a fucking weirdo. Okay, right? So the Ashkenazi, right, who are principally represented by Chabad, right? They believe that God needs them, right? God needs humanity. Okay, right? Like it's like this weird sort of like strange mother complex, right? And that they need to do things for God, right?
Yes.
And this promotes the idea that you can like do stuff on earth to bring the Messiah back, right? But the Mizrahi, who I believe, I don't know. I mean, Luria, I think was a Mizrahi, so it gets complicated, right? But generally speaking, the Mizrahi believe that God is basically like God doesn't really care, right? Like he's like their version of God is like the sort of the stern father, right? He just lays down the law, right? He doesn't need you, right? He just provides the law, and so as a result, the Mizrahi are much less into this idea, right? That you should do stuff on earth to like the Tikkun Olam and perfect the world for the coming of the Messiah. That's all Ashkenazi Chabad stuff. Apparently, the Mizrahi, they don't truck with that at all. So
there's a whole history there.
Yeah.
There's a whole history there about infighting, where this attitude toward God as a thing to be tricked versus a thing to be followed to the letter. It really comes down to an attitude difference. And you can see this illustrated in the movie Pi by Darren Aronofsky. It's a perfect illustration of this.
I haven't seen that for a long time.
Put it on your list, dude.
I will.
It will blow your freaking mind.
To give you a bit of sort of like background, right? V was this miniseries. It was like done in 1983. And it's basically, like I said, right, like a loosely retooled sci-fi version of this book called It Can't Happen Here, right? So it's basically like space snazzies, okay, right? Like, and it is like really, like, it's not subtle, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not subtle, okay, right? So the aliens turn up, they look like humans, but inside they are lizards, right? And it just revolves into this like extended sort of fantasy version of the Warsaw Ghetto. Okay, right? So you've got like collaborators, right? Like one of the girls gets like pregnant by an alien. It's never really explained, like if they're lizards wearing like human suits, right? Like how do they sex with our women, right? Like, you know, don't worry about it, right? Like the important part, okay, is the plucky resistance, okay, right? And the aliens are there. They say that you know, they basically appear all over the world in these like huge ships, right? Like the intro is pretty cool. You know, the big ships, like, because this is the thing that I remembered from my childhood, right? Was the ships like flying like over the cities and being like, oh my god. Wait, hang on. Let me see if we can find like a clip of it. Is it gonna?
Was this a European show, or was this an American
Oh
production?
no, this is American.
Okay.
Like, hang on.
How can it just hang there?
Yeah, so right, so these huge ships, they appear, right? It's full of the aliens, and you know, they come out like, we are your friends, right? Like, we need your assistance to, you know, to help us with some industrial process, right? And they come down, and it turns out that they're like basically doppelgangering all the human leaders. But the thing is, right, like, it skips over a lot of what I would regard as the more interesting stuff, right? Like the political thing and how they do to take control, and instead like devolves into, like what I was saying, this weird sort of fantasy version of the Warsaw Ghetto, right? And you get like gems like this, right? Hang on, let me see if I can get this to play.
But we woke up one morning and we were in a fascist state.
Those of us who respect law and order are free. It's criminals like you who cry fascist.
You're just as free as the leash you're on. You tug it too hard, they'll hang you by it. Good night, Mother.
Wait, she's got a gun? Hang on. Somebody warn that guy.
Yeah, you're just a fascist, man. And it's just weird, right? They form a so the aliens are afraid of being discovered, and so they start like arresting scientists, and they put it about that scientists can't be trusted, right? And then the scientists like start getting arrested by the police and like being ostracized by like their neighbors. And watching this in 2026, like, it's just so hilarious because like now, right, it's just the right wingers that are having that like done to them, right? And of course, because it's like the space snazzies, like, you know, it's really, it would actually be a better comment on Stalinism or Bolshevism, actually, right? Because it was the Bolsheviks who went primarily after the intellectual class, you know what I mean, right? Like with,
oh yeah,
but I digress, right? And so yeah, eventually, yeah, it's weird. They form a little ragtag sort of civilian resistance group, and then suddenly they've got all these resources like out of nowhere, but they don't really. I don't know. It's weird. I had to like watch the whole second part thing because I wanted to talk about it on this show. But it's
wait. So on the Wikipedia page, I saw something.
Yep. Hang on.
I can't believe this is real. Let's see here. Where is this? Daniel Bernstein, a grandson of a Holocaust survivor, joins the Visitor Youth. I knew it. Oh my God. I thought I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a dynamic in here. You've got the older Jew, right, who escaped from Nazi Germany, right? And you've got his son, right? And when a family of scientists like show up, the older Jew is like, we've got to hide them. You know, you weren't there. And the son is like, we don't have to like hide them. And then he's like, I smuggled you out of Germany in a suitcase. You know, you don't remember like not how bad it was, right? He's actually really based, right? But his son is like, no, screw that, right? I'm gonna collaborate. So it's all this, you know, people collaborating with like the capos, and it's crazy. Yeah,
it's just a retelling of a well-trodden story structure. Okay.
Yes. It's just, yeah, it's a very thinly disguised anti-fascist polemic. And it was basically a redoing of this book called It Can't Happen Here, a 1935 dystopian political novel by American author Sinclair Lewis, set in a fictionalized version of 1930s United States. It follows an American politician, Berzelius Buzz Windrip,
What?
who quickly rises to power to become the country's first outright dictator, in allusion to Mustache Man's rise to power in snazzy Germany. And Doremus Jessup, a newspaper editor who sees Windrip's fascist policies for what they are ahead of time and who becomes his most ardent critic. It was adapted into a play. Now, I tried reading this, but I couldn't get past the first chapter. Like it's so turgidly written, right? Like it's just, it's a slug, right? But of course, everyone's like basically like saying, how it mirrors the rise of Donald Trump, right? Like, because Donald Trump's like a fascist. Except the thing is, of course, Buzz, what's his name? Buzz Windrip, right?
Yeah.
He rises to power through an auto coup, right? Which is where you gain power democratically and then you sort of cut the legitimate government out from under you, right? So you're like, now that I'm elected, I don't think we'll be having any more elections. Elections are poopy. And there's Democrats won. Only Democrats won elections and they're losers. So I am going to be dictator now and you can all suck it. We're going to give all of our money to Israel, every single dollar. It's going to be fabulous.
And here I was over here, a good-hearted, dumb American, thinking that Windrip was just something you got after eating Taco Bell.
I got the Buzz Windrip.
Come on, this is so lame, bro. This is
Well, the reason why I started thinking about this, right, is that I was watching V, right, and I just started thinking about this weird cartoony version of fascism, right, that they put forward, right, and V is very, very interesting like this because there's never like a mass uprising, at least not in the first one. There's more that I haven't watched, okay, right, so maybe when they get into later episodes, they manage to get like a mass movement and stuff like that, okay. But if you, there's never any suggestion, of course, that the communists, right, would be the bad guys, right? Or that, like, it starts from this situation, right? Like you always see with this propaganda. Everything's fine. Everything's absolutely just awesome, normal, okay? And then the evil fash start doing their fashy things. Now, of course, this is completely contrary to history, where what basically happens is the communists start fucking shit up. Like
yes.
all that, like everything, right? The entire country grinds to a halt because the communists have like infiltrated and undermined every institution. And then fascism emerges as a response because nothing works because there's bloody communists everywhere, right? So the way they like to write it is that, the virtuous communists were just hanging around doing nothing wrong. And then, right?
Yeah.
The evil, they were just hanging around, right? Like making daisy chains and just,
Yep. Oh man. Oh yeah. It's so ignorant, but it's what people get. It can't happen here. It's as if this stuff just comes out of the ether and somewhere along the line, someone just decided they wanted to be oppressive and mean. And we have to stand up to meanies. It's not like anything else in life where every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
And that's literally the modern story of World War II.
Yeah,
right?
it severs the
Sorry, go on.
I was saying it severs the logical connection, which is why history in the 20th century, in the late 19th and 20th century, is all boring and hard to learn. It's because it doesn't have a narrative line. It's specifically left out.
Yep. And that's why it's so confusing. And that's why everyone goes around like being like, oh, how could this have happened to the Germans? Well, it's obvious if you like study the previous 40 years of German history. But if you just like say, if you just take the view that Germany as like literally just happened, right? In like, what was it, 1935 or whenever it was that Mustache Man got elected, right? For no reason whatsoever, obviously, right? And and then you start the film from that. It's like taking a film and you just cut out like the first like 2/3 of it, and then you just play the ending, and you're like, oh man, I watched that film, and like that looks like really bad, and you're like, yeah, but did you see like the 2/3 of the film that led up to that? Like, yeah, crazy. Right, so should we do the blue beans? We got off on that was a pretty big tangent.
It's all right. I just want to let you know. I am actually good on time, so we can take as long as we need to on this.
Okay, good stuff. I don't know. Should we split it into 2 episodes, you think? Or like
I think people are itching to hear about like this because it's hot right now. Hot like a laser beam.
It is hot like a laser beam. All right, well, let's get into it. Then, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah, the OG alien post.
Buzzing, clicking where you guys should form a one world government, by the way, lol. Take me to your leader or whatever. Oh my god, it's just like the movies. Oh my god, aliens. Do they drink soy milk? Oh.
Insane. Yo.
Aliens. Okay, hang on.
This actually isn't that far from the truth, really. Well, actually, it is the truth. This is the truth. This is exactly what would happen.
Right. So
Here we go.
This came out in the Daily Mail in the science section. Right. Religious leaders told to prepare now for UFO disclosure to unleash Bible-changing revelations.
How convenient. Changing the Bible?
That's a funny way of putting it. It's gonna change the Bible. Which parts of the Bible? Let me guess. It's going to change like Genesis, right? And
well, don't you know that Jesus was a tall white? What are we talking about here? He drank White Monster and smoked Marlboro Reds and came from Agartha. What are we talking about here?
My bro Jesus. Come up from Agartha to give us all White Monster and Marlboro Reds.
That
heal us from the infirmities of the modern world.
My God is a God of love. As you can see, he brought the White Monster and the Marlboro Reds.
Right, my child. Do you wish to be healed? And stir in pack of Marlboro Reds and be well.
Wow. I feel really good, Jesus. Thanks.
You're welcome, my child. Oh, someone should do a TikTok edit of that. That'd be freaking hilarious. Right. Influential pastors. Which influential pastors? Of what denomination? Just pastors, right? Are claiming they have been told to prepare their followers for shocking revelations about UFOs, which may upend belief in the Bible. It's not gonna, I mean, I'm not just like, no.
Yeah.
Have you heard some like rando? Oh, you got to uproot belief in the Bible. No, I'm good, mate. Wow, you got to still keep believing in the Bible. Man, I'm good, right? You don't have to sell it to me. It's fine. I got this thing called faith. Oh, you're such a contrarian. Don't you know we live in the modern world now? We have like digital watches and mobile phones. How can you believe in the Bible? Well, suck it, right? Perry Stone, a well-known evangelist and author and Bible teacher from Tennessee. I've never heard of this guy, but anyway.
I have.
I have heard
of him.
Oh, that's
Perry
right.
Stone.
You said you have knowledge of
Oh,
this.
no, not about this guy. This is a different guy. We'll get to the other guy later. Perry Stone.
Wait, should we look him up?
Oh, I've already got him looked up. In April 2020, the Voice of Evangelism Board of Directors received letters from 11 individuals, 9 of whom were women connected to Stone's ministry, that detailed allegations of sexual harassment and assault. Actions stipulated in the letters included groping, showing that he was aroused while fully clothed and rubbing himself, asking women in his ministry about their booba, kissing the women on the neck and lips, asking them to kiss him in similar ways, messaging them to send him pictures, and asking them to massage him. According to another report, Stone admitted to having acted inappropriately with female employees, which he attributed to stress.
Look at this shit. This is his website, perrystone.org. Well, I tell you, this certainly screams legitimacy to me.
They did that. They did it. They made him take a forced sabbatical. They didn't get rid of him. No. The forced sabbatical included professional counseling, medical care, removal from social media, and absence from ministry for between 6 and 12 months.
Well, it seems like he's back. All right. And he's got terrible website design, right? It's the voice of evangelism. All right. So they're evangelicals. Okay. So it's not
Going on a cruise?
It's not the Catholics, right? It's not the Orthodox. It's not the trad Lutherans who are coming out and saying, oh, by the way, did you know it was like aliens? No, it's he's got Holy Land tours with a menorah on. Wow. That sounds, at this time, there are no regular tours scheduled to Israel. Oh, what a shame. What a shame, right?
I like their 65th birthday celebration cruise. That keeps popping up there. It's in the first bubble. Boomers. But also Stone is probably a how do I say this? Poetically. Stone is a common name change. And I'm not making.
Oh, it is. Holy crap!
I'm not making any accusations.
No. Stone is a frequent change from Stein. That is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Now I got to find out. Now I got to
listen, man. I just had to hear from one of my best friends, lifelong friends, about how his parents are being brainwashed by one of these guys. It is fucking tragic, and it pisses me off to no end to see that there's even more of them. And they're rapey.
Perry Stone is an international evangelist and director of the Voice of Evangelism Ministry who specializes in Hebraic and Messianic teachings, emphasizing the Jewish roots of the Christian faith. He's best known for his book, Breaking the Jewish Code, which outlines 12 principles or secrets derived from Jewish tradition and the Torah that he claims unlock success in health, wealth, and family unity for believers. Okay.
Dude, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to do this. But it keeps happening.
Stone's ministry focuses on helping Gentile Christians understand their connection to the Abrahamic covenant Hebraic lens, teaching topics such as the significance of Hebrew covenants, Sabbaths, and biblical feast, practical applications of Jewish dietary health principles, methods for raising children and leaving spiritual legacies based on Jewish customs, and interpreting biblical prophecy and end time events through historical and Hebraic patterns.
It hurts, Fist. It hurts. Why does it have to be like this? Why do the boomers have to like these guys?
I didn't even think of that. That was a spectacular catch. Aaron.
Listen, man, I wear a tinfoil hat. It keeps out the goy beam.
Oh my God. Right. Okay. So this is immediately like 10,000% less credible if it's being like backed by this. But yeah, let's get back. Perry Stein. Mm-hmm. A well-known evangelist, author, and from Tennessee, the center of the world. I mean, I like Tennessee, not to dunk on Tennessee, right? Like good people. One that fellow pastors were recently invited to a secret meeting with U.S. intelligence officials to prepare for the release of secret files on extraterrestrials. No one cares. Actually, oh my God, I bet I know what this is, right? Did you know that apparently the Messiah is returning in 2040? No, I'm serious. I can't remember. Wait, who was it who said that? Jewish Messiah return 2040. I remember reading it somewhere and I'm like, that's amazing. Here we go. According to Jewish tradition, 2040 is cited by some commentators as a potential deadline for the Messiah's arrival, corresponding to the year 5800 in the Hebrew calendar. This date is derived from interpretation suggesting that the year 6000 marks the end of the current six millennium cycle and the beginning of the Messianic Sabbath era, with the redemption occurring up to 2 centuries prior. Now, I mean, like the reason why I sort of point this out, okay, is that you must have you know about 2030, right? Oh, yeah. Everybody knows about 2030. Like, oh my God, 2030. And one of the things that always puzzled me about 2030 is the way, like, it seemed like this fixed date that they could not alter, right? I remember when this shit started kicking off, like 2020, 2021, I was like, why 2030? And first I was like, is it because they're Maoists, right? Is it like the 10-year plan? But then as things got along, it started tingling my sussy gland, right? I have quite a highly developed sussy gland, right? You can buy one. We're going to start printing them and selling them from the shop.
Sponsored by Tucker Carlson from the Tucker Carlson Network.
Ow, my sussy gland. I say, your sussy gland is quite swollen there. Have you been suspicious of a lot of things? Yes, doctor, I've been suspicious of many things. So it's 2030 seemed like just this fixed, like religious state, effectively. Okay, because there were a bunch of these plans that they were pushing. And about a couple of years ago, I was like, this is weird, because by pushing it so hard and so fast, they are in fact undermining their own cause, right? Like it seemed to me like they couldn't just push it off until 2035 or 2040, right? They were like rushing towards this date. And I'm like, what is it about 2030? Why is it such a special date? Well, if 2040 is indeed the anticipated return of the Messiah, then they'll have to have like a bunch of stuff like set up by 2030, right? You know, the Sanhedrin will have to be like done. Presumably they'll have to have like Greater Israel nailed down. They'll have to like have a bunch of stuff to prepare for his return, which, to circle back, is what makes me like wonder.
Oh dear.
You back?
Yep, back.
Which makes me wonder if the whole blue beans thing is not to like prepare people for that. You just know that they're gonna like come down from space and be like, actually, bros, like the true Christianity is like evangelical Christianism. Why is my brain not working? Evangelical Christianity. Okay, so where's the page? Come on, what's going on? Okay, right. According to Stone, the officials warned a small group of pastors with a large reach in the Christian community that the government was about to release reports and possibly videos of aliens and spacecraft which were not from this planet. You left this to cook for way, way too long.
Uh-huh.
Videos in the age of AI. No one's gonna care, man. Oh, did you see the video of the UFO? Oh my god. Like, in the April 27th video posted to his YouTube channel, the evangelist claimed that pastors were told about the existence of reptilian creatures, UFOs, and materials from a non-human origin, and, quote, other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie. Get back to the 80s. What do you think? This is the 1980s.
Yeah.
On February 19th, President Trump ordered the Pentagon and the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to release all information the government possesses regarding UFOs and alien life. And I will absolutely believe 100% of it, right? Because it's not like, this could be some kind of propaganda op, right? I trust the government. I've hired my own trust broker, bros, right?
Listen, I trust the government so much, I pay my taxes twice, and I send a tip.
Always send a tip. Always send a tip to the IRS, right? Oh my God. Last week, Trump said the first files would be released very, very soon and would contain some very interesting things for the public. Okay, that's like fucking vague post-harder. We can't tell you what it is, but it'll be very, very interesting. Yeah.
You know what I love about your Trump impression? It sounds like he's trying to get some words out before he goes down a water slide. It's like, it's going to be huge. Watch out for the giant funnel.
I climbed up 20 flights of stairs to get on this water slide. It's the biggest one that I could find. It's going to be great. My ass is going to get so much water.
There's a giant bucket that'll tear your shorts off.
However, officials in a secret meeting allegedly said the information on its way may cause some Christians to question how the universe was created and even lose faith in religion. Nah, man, I'm good. I'm good. How about you, Aaron? You good?
I'm good. Thank you. You can keep your Kabbalistic bullshit to yourself.
They're very concerned Aaron. Yeah, I mean, you know, like if this happens, it's going to be a massive W for orthodoxy, in my opinion.
The only demiurge I've ever known is that one before you eat at Taco Bell. I'm going to keep talking about Taco Bell, man. Like,
The Taco Bell demiurge, mate. Taco Bell had a dish called the demiurge, right? What would it be? Would it be like a double gordita crunch or something like that? It like literally makes you like phase out of like the material world. There's so many like carbs in it.
yeah, the Taco Bell demiurge is just Locos or Nachos Locos or whatever inside of a Hot Pocket. Listen, it's not a show if I'm not crying laughing. It's so
it's the Hot Pocket symbolizes the pleoma, right? and the spicy filling symbolizes.
And what do you think the Mexican pizza symbolizes? That's right, UFO.
Oh my God. The spicy filling symbolizes the material universe owned by the spicy demiurge. Oh my God. Oh, dude, come on.
All right. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's just I'm gonna lose my breath. I'm laughing so hard. Holy crap. Ay, it's Taco Bell demiurgos. Oh, mate. Stone said, you're going to have people who are going to say, if there are galaxies and there are allegedly other creations in the galaxies, then the whole creation story is a myth. Don't care. And you're going to have people that's going to apostatize and turn from the Christian faith because they have no answer for what they're about to hear. You have no answer? What about faith, you freaking retard?
Yeah, man. This is crazy because what he's saying is that people will turn away from their faith and apostatize because of information that the government can provide, which once again positions the government narrative above the church. Are we allowing this? Like, Christians are allowing this to happen.
But not only that, right? Like this demonstrates like a thing I see in a lot of modern Christians, right? Where they don't seem to actually like feel anything deep down. It's
No.
just like a thing they think about. Like it's just, I don't know, like a social construct or something. Like it's just right. Like they, it's, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, you know, maybe I'm the weird one, right? But like I have a very different like conception of it.
No. It's one of the problems of being raised in any faith, really. And I'm not saying it's a problem as in it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a common speed bump, I guess.
Right.
Where you sort of like put it in a section of your brain that you develop in childhood, and then you never take it out again for investigation, to take it to the next level, or to understand it better. You just leave it there and you have a child's understanding of spiritual things.
But what about the vibes? What about the awe, the majesty, right? Like the pure joy of the community. I'm sounding like a freak here, I'm sure.
No, you're not.
Like, hold up there, fist, right? Like, it's okay to have religion, but you're not supposed to actually like have joy.
No, it's not.
Hold on there, Nelly.
It's not actually supposed to heal your soul and redeem your past life and turn it into good. No. It's about putting money in the plate and listening to freaking Stone.
It's what's the name of that fucking horrible woman who's like got her clutches into Trump, Paula White? Oh, fuck me. Dude. That shit is straight up demonic, bro.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, I'm just gonna like speak in tongues. Like, I mean, okay.
Was it Artie and Fist where you guys were going through some of that shit?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, that was an incredible stream, for one. But for two, I didn't know it was that bad until you guys were going through clips on it. And I was like, oh, this is like real bad. This is like demon shit, dude.
It is. It's straight up demon shit. Right. Stone also claimed that government officials warned these religious leaders that non-Christians might panic and turn to churches for answers. Well, you better make sure you got a ready-made church for their answers. You wouldn't want them going to like the wrong church, right? And having them like question the narrative, TM. Don't worry, we got a nice mega church all set up for you. They got acrobats and shit.
It's a circus. I'm looking up this next name, by the way. So carry on.
Okay. Was it you who told me that
Yes.
evangelism came primarily from the fact that wandering preachers used to like hang out with the circus and they do like revivals in the circus tents?
Yes, they did revivals in circus tents. This was popularized by Billy Sunday.
Billy Sunday.
He was a precursor to Billy Graham. I actually was in touch with his great-granddaughter at one point because it covered this. I covered his story in my history podcast, and I think the man was genuine. But he did it. He did revive / invent / use circus tents to do his preaching, and it became a show, and it was really, really successful. And he used to play professional baseball.
Billy Sunday is like the most fucking American name I've ever fucking heard in my life, right?
And don't you forget it.
And don't you forget it, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome up onto the stage Billy Sunday. Yay! It's shit like this. I love it.
It sounds like something Netflix would have written.
It totally does. It sounds. I don't know, mate. Like you told me, I was like, no way, is that fucking real? It sounds like someone like Billy Sunday. Oh, mate, fucking mate. If it was like modern time, they'd probably have like WWE wrestling, right? Like in the red corner, Billy Sunday versus the Satan. I don't know. Probably
epic rap battles of history. Billy Sunday. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. They're going to freak out. This is the people, the plebs, right? You, the listener, right? They're going to freak out and they're going to come to pastors, ministers, and teachers and say, "What is this? Is this really real?" I mean, I guess the boomers will, right? Probably. Yeah. What is going on? There's blacks and Mexicans all over my town, and now the government says that aliens are real and Jesus is fake. What do I do, Father? Welcome to the mega church this Sunday. We have acrobats. This reported meeting involved approximately 6 Christian leaders, including Bishop Alan Didio, right? I've seen him on Twitter talking about this, of the Revival Nation Church. Oh, well, that sounds very trad, right?
I looked it up. Look it up.
Revival
It's so trad, it's gonna make you shake in your boots, you filthy reformer.
Let's have a look. Look at that logo.
Yeah.
Stand up, hold your hands up and sing. Oh my God, what the hell is this?
Roar, the Roaring 20s. Wow. His name is, so is his first name Bishop, or is that just what he calls himself because he gets off on it? Is that?
Is he call himself Bishop Didio, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Bishop Alan Didio. So yes, he calls himself a bit. How do our evangelicals have a bishop? There's no apostolic succession. There's no.
Another thing that I will say as politely as possible.
Right.
A lot of this kind of thing is literally stolen from black people. You will never hear me say that about almost anything else.
Yeah.
But this whole calling yourself a bishop without having any qualification and all that stuff, it's just stolen from the black church. And if you look at the history of this, this is one of the few places where you can see this is a culture that's completely ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about I think it was on one of the live streams with Artie about I think it's called the Azusa Street Revival back in like 1913. It was like one of the first 20th century outbreaks of black Christianity, right? Where they're all like, they're moving and they're shaking and they're like, oh shit, Jesus, he becoming, I'm telling you, hey, the Lord, he becoming. All right, all that kind of like crap, right?
Yeah.
And apparently they this church in Azusa Street, was it Chicago, some American city, right? They literally had this like sort of revival. It just went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and people would just like walk in and walk out, and there'd always be like something going on. And it was just, and then the white man, he came and he shut it down and ended. I don't know what caused its downfall, but apparently there was just a lot of crazy shit going on, as I'm sure you can like imagine, right?
Yeah, but that kind of thing was completely unknown. You could think of the people who crossed over the line to like go to black churches and stuff like that. You could think of them as like almost like wokesters way back in the day, because they virtue signaled about it all the time. They still do it. They're like, I went to the inner city and went to a black church, and my God, those people understand the love of Jesus.
And
it's very weird.
They do have that natural rhythm.
Yeah, well, they'll go there, and then they'll get called out for being, the only white family in the congregation, and be like, we know y'all can't dance, but you gotta try. And they're like, oh, please, dude, it's so common. These are things I've seen in real life a lot.
Yeah.
So this is stolen. He's calling himself a bishop because he wishes he was black.
I mean, I guess. I mean, is it because he wishes he had apostolic succession and like a branch of Christianity that was more than how old is evangelical Christianity? Like, is it even 100 years old? It must be, right? Like,
listen, the apostolic succession is a value menu item at Taco Bell. To Protestants, Protestants of this ilk, you understand.
Try our new apostolic succession menu with a large fries and extra Coke. I know the Protestants aren't too keen on the apostolic succession, but I like it. It's cozy, man. Right? You can look up the church fathers and the saints and be like, thousands of years ago, people were still being dicks and coming to Christ, and shit really hasn't changed all that much.
Well, if it helps at all, I mean, and if it isn't obvious, I was raised Protestant, and I still consider myself that, and I've never really gone to liturgical things outside of weddings.
Right.
So I can make these jokes, is what I'm saying. All right.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Okay. So this secret meeting, which they're talking about endlessly, by the way. It's so secret, right? They paid for an article. You cannot tell me they didn't pay for this article, right? Look, it's got his like logo in the goddamn picture, right?
Could they get a better picture of him then? Like maybe have AI brush it up, move that hairline down a little bit, take some of the gel out.
So yes, this highly secret meeting, 6 Christian leaders, right, or evangelicals, who confirmed he was part of the extraordinary gathering. Didio said, it seems like half a dozen people were gathered in an Airbnb in the mountains of Tennessee discussing an investigation that's going on in the United States government against crimes they have committed in the process of retrieving and reverse engineering technology from non-human intelligence. Yes, the technology, the most secret technology of all.
Wait, they did this in an Airbnb?
In Tennessee. And I was in an Airbnb down in Tennessee.
When they told us about the aliens.
You can't get nothing past. See.
I don't know if you noticed, but my computer decided to just ditch when you started singing. So,
let that be a lesson to you. We don't like no singing on this goddamn podcast. Right. The meeting also went forward to discuss the propaganda plan that was in place leading up to disclosure. This is a propaganda plan. They put the YouTube link, right? This is paid. This is a paid ad for sure. Another reported attendee, American evangelist and podcaster Tony Merkel, added that the government officials who held the meeting expressed concerns about the impact of UFO disclosure on organized religion. Now, I believe, because I watched a bit of this, right, that the government official is like someone from the Tennessee Congress, right? So it's not like the director of national intelligence or, someone really high up in the federal government. It's just, it's some guy, right?
Right.
Merkel said, I came into contact with these guys more than a year ago now, and I've been in touch with them, communicating with them, and their heart is to prepare the body of Christ for what's coming. These guys are part of, well, let's just say they're Christians in intelligence operations, and they are specifically geared towards, initially, to gather evidence and data on what's actually going on behind the scenes within the disclosure community. Yeah, there's like a YouTube link.
I suppose I should mention this.
Uh-huh.
I actually did an episode with Tony Merkel.
Oh, really? So,
on my-
okay. So tell us more.
So on my old podcast, we talk about dead people, which was a history podcast. I asked, well, actually, I think I was reached out to by his booker to do an appearance on the show. And I said, yeah, sure. And it wasn't until later I learned that he was like a huge YouTuber. And I have to say the man is a fine person. But, you know, my co-host and I, Adam, we've discussed it, and we believe that good-hearted people can be used for this kind of thing because they're enthusiastic about the message a little bit.
Yeah.
So I do not want to cast any aspersions on the guy because he was nothing but kind to me the whole time, and it was an awesome episode. But I have to be honest, like, he does remind me of a lot of my friends who do get caught up in this stuff.
Right.
And it's specifically evangelicals who have been primed to accept this kind of thing because they think about end times and all that stuff all the time.
Yeah, I find that whole thing particularly disturbing, actually. Like the way a lot of these people, like they focus so much on the afterlife and the coming this and the that, and I'm like, just focus on the now, bro. Right? Like, I that kind of stuff like really creeps me out personally. Right? Like this, you know, we're looking for signs of the future and all this kind of like stuff, and you're like, man, this is creeping very close towards like divination and starting to think that like you're a prophet, and they like squirrel through like weird passages in the Old Testament, like a chipmunk on methamphetamine, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
They like clip them out and they stitch them all together, and they're like, and that means that in 5 years, Netanyahu will come down from the mountain, and that is why I need all of you to give all of your money to Israel. Like, just
so this is the part that is, I guess, a little disturbing. What these people are really digging into, and I don't know if they know it, but they sort of go into it blindly. They think that this Hebraism is part of Christianity, and it's the most important part, and that understanding Moodyism, etc., and all of that stuff is just part of understanding the Bible better. And what they end up getting into is actually like Kabbalah and Merkaba mysticism.
Yep.
And it drives them nuts. Like, I knew a guy who worked with people who had been through some pretty nasty stuff, let's just say, with regards to this. And the man, he drank himself to death. There's other people. Go ahead.
No, I have a theory that Moodyism actually drives Gentiles insane.
Yes.
Right? Like you are not prepared to hold that kind of shit in your brain, right? Like, they are a different, like, it's crazy, that shit, right? Like, just the whole, and of course, right? I mean, that whole idea strikes deeply at the liberal post-World War assumption, right? We're all exactly the same. We all have the same brains. I disagree. I see no evidence that this is true, right? All I see is people getting very, very annoyed when you point this out, right? Like, I think that religion actually is an expression of ethnos, right? That's why the Japanese created Shinto, and that's why the Moos created Moodyism, right? And that's, you know what I mean, right? Like, it's not like imposed.
Well, Christianity, you know, fit like a glove under the Western world.
Yeah, that's right.
And you get to see all these like beautiful representations of it because it resonated with you know, people of that background and that stuff so strongly. You know, Christian Europe is such a oversimplification because there were all sorts of different expressions of the same Christian message. I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I guess what I'm trying to say is that when I see eager Christians who want to learn more about this stuff end up slipping into this kind of stuff, I see bad things happen to them, and they end up in like cults in Texas.
So look, I have recommended this podcast a lot, and I will continue to recommend it. Okay, Stone Choir did a podcast called "The Septuagint in Europe." Now, I don't know about both of the hosts of Stone Choir, but I'm pretty sure like one of them would like call me like a heretic to my face, right, and probably want me like chucked off a cliff, right? But that,
both of us.
that does not detract from the incredibly like good information in there, and it basically charts the journey of Martin Luther and the problems with the Masoretic text, the Hebrew retranslation of the Bible, and all the trouble that Luther got into that led him to, well, that book that he wrote towards the end of his life that we don't talk about, right? Where he vociferously turned upon the Moos and said, like, you know, you guys lied to me. This is all like bullshit. No. Fascinating podcast. I cannot recommend it enough. Like, it's dense though. Okay, right. Okay, so that was a bit of a segue. Let's get back to this, right? The three pastors also warned that when the US government finally releases the historic report about UFOs and extraterrestrials, it will not just be surprising news. They believe it will be part of a plot designed to pull people away from faith in Jesus. Well, probably. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I agree with them on this point. Okay, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
I believe that's Merkel's point of view as well.
Okay, well then, fair enough, right? I support that point of view, right? The men compared it to what the Bible calls the Great Deception in end time prophecies. Okay, actually, do you know there's like a whole bunch of like Orthodox monks who did a bunch of like prophecies, and they basically said like, oh yeah, when Israel attacks Iran's nuclear program, like that's when the shit is going to hit the fan. I don't know how far back these goes. I'm a bit sus about prophecy, generally speaking. Like, I know it is a thing in Christianity, you know, and also in Moodyism, but it seems to me like so easily exploitable for political gain. I'm very sort of suspect about. I don't know, right? Merkel and Didio went further, saying the disclosure had already been set up to paint Christians as the bad guys who were holding humanity back, with people being told, you were close, Christians, you were close, that's right, but no cigar, and here's what it actually is. I could see this, honestly, right? They'll be like, you know, Jesus was actually like an alien. He was like a tall white. He was like sent down. All those miracles were actually like advanced, you know, woo-woo technology. There is no miracles. There's, you know, the earth is just a cold, round blue marble. There's nothing special. Everything you believe in is just like weird technology.
Oh, yeah.
All three men urged churches to get ready now, so believers would not be shocked or deceived, but instead stay grounded in the Bible and their belief in Jesus when this great deception arrives. While religious leaders had already allegedly been warned about the coming UFO files, multiple government officials have also tied the alleged existence of alien life directly to events and beings written about in the Bible. President J.D. Vance said in March, I don't think they're aliens, I think they're demons. Based. Mm-hmm. Thank you, J.D., right? Obviously. Oh, look, they're not aliens, bro. They just like appear like out of nowhere. They're weird and monstrous, and people who investigate them get like attacked by occult phenomena. Oh, demons. Nigga, please.
Yep.
He previously declared himself a UFO lunatic and was committed to get to the bottom of answering whether aliens exist or not. Wait, how are you going to do that? Right, were you going to fucking hold a seance? Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Yeah, why don't you do that? Fucking nothing possibly bad can happen when messing with that stuff. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna of Florida has repeatedly urged the public to read the Book of Enoch. Here we go. An ancient Moorish religious text written in stages between 300 and 100 BC. You ever read the Book of Enoch?
I have read parts of it.
Yeah, I was when I was into Zacharias teaching, I was like into that stuff. It's all about the Nephilim come down, and they make sexy time with women, and you get like demigods and all that stuff. Have I got that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. Luna, who is chairwoman of the House Oversight Committee tasked with declassifying government secrets, has repeatedly claimed that alien encounters disclosed to her in classified briefings appear to have a stunning similarity to events in biblical times. Instead of so they're demons.
Yeah. Yep.
Imagine that, right?
Excuse me. They're macrobes.
Macrobes, right?
Macrobes.
Instead of aliens, the Congresswoman has called these alleged creatures interdimensional beings, noting that the Book of Enoch tells of 200 angels known as Watchers who descended to Earth and mated with human women. Last year, she told Joe Rogan, have I seen a spaceship personally? No. Have I seen evidence of this? Yes. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft I believe were not made by mankind? Yes. Is there historical significance to this? Yes. is there multiple events that go back to, I would argue, maybe even before the time of Christ that have been documented in text? Yes. So there you go. There you go. You're gonna have the blue beans, and you're gonna like it.
Yep.
Mate.
Dude.
I was gonna fold all this into the EU conspiracy thing as well, right? I had a I don't know, should we keep going? Fuck it. Why
Let's
not?
go. Why
Let's
not?
go. Okay. So the question that I wanted to like ask, okay, just to reference back to our previous episode, right, is what happens when the conspiracy theory, quote unquote, is being spread by like another government, right? So say Trump comes out, he's like, aliens are real. I've seen them. Well, I haven't seen them. One of them touched me on my pee-pee. It left a mark. Basically like sabotage Zevi up in this bitch, right? Like, what are they going to do? Because you know the EU being basically composed of like atheists and, you know, assorted commie hangers on, they're not going to like believe in any of this, right? Like, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe they'll be like, oh, it's just like my science fiction books. So I wanted to talk about this because we were joking about this like last episode. We didn't really actually read it because I was just too busy laughing at the images, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the impact of conspiracy theories evolves around 3 main dimensions. Count them 3. Duration. There are temporary conspiracy theories to persistent conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories differ in impact as short-lived ones flare up and fade quickly, like TikTok fads, while persistent ones grow over time, absorb counter evidence, and can shape politics and society. Oh no. Now, of course, what they mean is stuff about the COVID vax, right? Like that's what they're really talking about, right? That the obvious lies about the COVID vax. It was fine, bros, right? I've like, you know, I have 12 and I only got Bell's palsy twice, right? Like, right? That has become a persistent narrative, right? And the danger is that this will alter the political conversation away from the cozy technocracy that they inhabit. You know what they need to do, mate? They need to hire like some trust brokers. Maybe Manny the motivational mosquito could fucking like hook them up.
Oh yeah, get him in there.
Scale. Some conspiracy theories are niche. You see the bird there tweeting to a few little other birds. Too widespread, where you see like, the conspiracy is bouncing around all the birds at different sizes. They're like, oh my God. Conspiracy theories stay niche when they don't connect to wider grievances, but go widespread when their story can absorb many different fears and issues into one big narrative. Oh, that's a bit of a tell, right? So presumably what they're talking about here is that people are starting to like not trust the technocracy. And they're like, these grievances are, these complaints that people have, they're starting to connect them all into like this one big grievance, which is like, you guys suck the way that you govern us, and we can't have that.
Yep.
We need to keep these grievances like isolated and individual. Have you considered just being an individual with your own individual grievance and not talking to people, right? Very, very dangerous. And the threat to public safety, from disruptive to violent. Conspiracy theories range from merely disruptive beliefs that erode trust to narratives that can actively legitimize violence and can lead to real-world attacks and harm. You mean like the COVID lockdowns? Oh, don't be silly. That was not a conspiracy theory narrative. It totally was. It absolutely was. It was a conspiracy theory narrative, right? Like you disregarded evidence. You're like, oh my God, it's like, what was their fucking story? Oh, it just naturally emerged from a wet market in Wuhan.
Oh, dude.
That's a fucking conspiracy theory.
Dude, that's a great point. So actually, go back up to the top one there.
Mm-hmm.
Conspiracy theories differ in impact. Oh, I'm sorry, I got blurry for a second. As short-lived ones flare up and fade quickly, while persistent ones grow over time, absorb counter evidence, and can shape politics and policy.
Yes.
So if the government creates a conspiracy theory that they openly support, such as, you know, alien invaders are here and we all need to band together, it can shape politics and policy because what? People believe them who are in charge.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we're seeing right now with the American evangelicals in Zionism.
Yeah.
They believe it. They really believe it. Huckabee, they don't have anything on Huckabee. He believes it, guys.
Oh, I know.
Dude.
He does it for free.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, not for free. I mean, like, he's the Israeli ambassador, so he's been very, very well rewarded. But, like, I mean, all of this is just really cope from the government, that the narrative tools that they have used to manage society for 80 years at this point. When was Bernays around? Wasn't he like pre-World War One, post-World War One?
Yeah,
right?
well, that's when he was getting started, yeah.
The narrative tools that they have used to manage, by which I mean lie. Okay, let's be frank here, right? The very specific and designed way of lying to the population in order to control their behavior is beginning to break down. And other actors are beginning to seize the narrative. This is what they're worried about, right? They wouldn't put it in such terms, though. I think, this is like, this is
I know.
such gore. Oh my god!
Goodness me.
Tinder boxes, isolated fringes, the blip of crisis. Some conspiracy theories appear suddenly within niche communities and create brief but intense disruption. Their lifespan is short, but they can generate bursts of misinformation and confusion that temporarily distort public perception of specific events or issues. During the Ebola outbreak, multiple conspiracy theories circulated about the origins of the virus, supposed cures and preventative measures, fueling fear and misunderstanding within affected communities and beyond. Now, I want to point something out here, okay, right? This assumes on the part of the EU that all of the people in Europe are as stupid as the people in Kikwit. I think was it Nigeria? No, Zaire. Like Ebola Zaire. Okay, there's a city called Kikwit, and this is true, right? When Ebola like came out, a lot of them were like these crazy cures. There's tons of that stuff in Africa now, right? Like there's gold in the heads of bald men. If you hang a sock on your bed, you won't get HIV. If you do get HIV, the way to like do it is to struggle with a child. Oh, now I'm sad. It's a whole thing in Africa. These are not the same. Whites do not do it in the same way. Like
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was agreeing with you.
On.
Well, so there's a couple of things actually that this brings up for me. Is you're correct. They do treat people as if they're all just stupid playthings. I've compared it to Lord Helmet and Spaceballs playing with dolls. You remember that, where he's like, your helmet is so big, and it's like he's like fantasizing about this princess falling in love with him because he's so clever and powerful, right? They really do believe that we're all the same and we respond to things different or the same way.
Yeah.
It's a very short-sighted attitude to have.
Well, because they believe that everybody is the same.
Yes.
Right? Like there's literally no difference between a white European, right, and like a 60 IQ dude from Guinea-Bissau, right, who would be literally functionally retarded by Western standards. I mean, well, the old ones, they've since changed all the standards because, it'd be racist and shit to like point out that there are entire countries in Africa where all they do is like stand around. Like the cargo cult stuff. We've got to cover that. We got to do an episode on the cargo cult like thing.
Yeah.
That stuff is amazing. They just stand around. They just stand around waiting for like heavenly food from the sky. And it's interesting to note that right next to this one, they've got Pizzagate. Okay. Now look, Pizzagate did not result in riots, right? Like it would be, it honestly would be better to say that communism is a fucking conspiracy theory, right? If you're talking about narratives that inspire violence, they'd be like, well, what about January 6th? Dude, January 6th was like peaceful until the cops like threw all those like stun grenades into the crowd and like deliberately riled people up so they could get a political W, and like the SPLC and the ADL could get like a shitload of money and the Democrats could milk it for 4 years. I mean, it's a Pizzagate,
See, and here I was over here, see that little box you pointed out, the blip of crisis. That's usually what I call the last bite of my taco from Taco Bell. It's like when you're like, if I eat this little blip, there's going to be a crisis.
Now, this is quite interesting, right? Chaos instigators. Rapidly spreading conspiracy theories can also produce short-term outbreaks of violence or political unrest. Okay. Their broad reach makes them particularly dangerous as they can mobilize large groups and amplify social tensions. And the example that they give, in Sweden, the LVU conspiracy theory falsely claimed that the authorities were removing Muslim children from their families. So it was a bunch of like low IQ muzzies kicking off. Oh, I've never seen that before. Right? Like look at the examples you get from the West, right? You either get these organized like stuff like the commies, or you get like what happened after Southport, where a bunch of people rioted because there were like murders. They didn't riot because of a conspiracy theory. They rioted because people were killed. That's a very, very different thing. They'd probably say, the idea that the UK refugee policy was in any way responsible for those deaths is a conspiracy theory. No, it fucking isn't. It not even close, right? Axel Rudikabana was like brought over. His father was brought over by the fucking government. He was like a general or something, right? He was like high up in the Rwandan government when the massacres were going on, right? When the machete thing happened, right? And I have a theory on this. I cannot prove it, right? But this is my theory. The UK has like a long tradition of getting stuff done in Africa by offering people a way out. Okay, so they'll go to Africa and they'll be like, we've worked with this person, we want them out of the country, and they'll offer them a place to come in and live in Britain, right? I actually know someone who was part of this program, right? He was running for president of was it Nigeria? Kenya, right? President of Kenya. Okay. He was like from a third party, and Kenya is like mainly controlled by these two large tribal groups, the Ibwe and I can't remember the other one. Okay. Right. And he ran as like a unity candidate, right? He wanted to like westernize Kenya and, have like a Western government that wouldn't be tribal. Okay. That's not how African politics works, by the way, right? In Africa, the way politics works is, you get someone from your tribe in government, and then they seize the machinery of government and they exclusively direct that towards their tribe. And that is just the expected thing. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he was going around Kenya. He was giving out flyers and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the Kenyan authorities discovered like kilos and kilos of like brick weed in his like trailer that he had. All of his flyers were gone, and they had been replaced by like kilos and kilos of weed. Okay, right? And so apparently the British government basically contacted him and said, the embassy contacted him and said, look, we're pretty sure they're going to try and assassinate you. Do you want to come to the UK? We'll pay for you to go to university. And that's how I met him. He was at the same university as me. Right? Yeah, I know. Now, the reason I talk about this is that I suspect that this is how Axel Rudikabana's father, Alfonso, I think his name is, right, came over to the UK. And then he had like a kid here. Axel grew up in like a completely foreign society. And this is the thing you see a lot, by the way, right? It's the children of the migrants that are actually much more crazy, because they've never seen like what it was that their parents were fleeing from, right? Like from the parents' point of view, they're like, okay, Britain's a bit fucking weird, all the white people fucking, they're a bit like, okay, but at least, I'm not living in Macheteville, right? But the kids, they have all the, genetic sort of ancestral cultural memory of like where they came from, and they're growing up around a bunch of like white people, and they lose their shit. Oh, that was a bit of a tangent. Anyway, what are we up to? We're at an hour and a half. Should we wrap it? My voice is starting.
Well, I mean, do you have any final thoughts on where this is going to go? Do you think they're really going to come out and say, look, we have videotape? Like, what's going on here? Do you think they're going to actually say aliens are real and we have to worship them? Now bow down before your tall white Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, this is a really like, I always like, okay, so if you're familiar with like 90s deep conspiracy lore, right? I think it's like Bob Lazar talks about this as well. Okay. The idea was that they were going to unify the world behind the idea of an alien invasion, right? Oh my God, the aliens are attacking. We've got to unify now. There's only one race, the human race. It's not going to fucking happen. That's not going to, like, Tim Dillon does this incredible monologue where he talks about this, right? He's like, are the aliens going to help me buy a house? Right? Are the aliens going to stop me getting stabbed? No? Well, then I don't fucking care. Right? So they're not, this might have, the irony is that this might have worked when you had ethnically homogenous countries, right? And you could make an appeal to them as nations, right? The plucky British responding to an alien attack on London with the super goy beam. Look at little Maisie's down there with her gas mask. Are you scared, Maisie? No, she's not scared. She's a plucky can-do Britisher, like all of the British, banging together to fight the alien menace. That shit isn't going to work.
Well, here's can I put on my tinfoil hat double?
Please.
Okay. So
please.
I got the sense during COVID that all the shit they were throwing at us that was contradictory and stupid, and one of the first reports that they said about what the disease did to you is like you were going to bleed out of your eyes and your ass.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that disappeared. And then it was just all this bullshit constantly about like how weird it all is, and 2 masks, 3 masks, no mask. How many masks should I wear, sir? Just any mask works, but the N95 is the best.
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff. I got the sense that was like a check on our discernment.
Yeah.
It was like a test to see if there was anybody still thinking, anybody alive out there, kind of, like the end of the Titanic or something. We're like sailing around a bunch of dead bodies. You're like, is anybody alive out there? I got that sense where I was like, they're trying to find people who are still thinking and awake. Something like that.
You're not alone in thinking that. And what I noticed immediately after this happened is that they began to purge anyone from government who was not on board with the narrative, right? And my theory on this was that this was a way of displaying through action who would go with the program and who would not, right? Exactly. Anyone who would not was to be systemically excised from any position of power.
Exactly.
Right? And,
yes.
and you see this now, right? Like in the UK, all of the people, well, not all, because I guess like reforms, like there are people starting to drift back in, but for a while, there was just this complete monolithic, like everybody, and the reason why this is so effective is because it wasn't just saying you're on board. You had to demonstrate, like you had to literally sacrifice. You had to put the Fauci juice inside your body and suffer the negative effects to demonstrate that you were on board with the science. Fucking Fauci is still around, by the way. They've just announced like they're not going to charge him with anything.
Yep.
He's on fucking podcast being like, the droplets, it turns out if more people had gotten the vaccine, everything would have been fine and I would have made another $60 million. Oh, I'm still not over that shit, mate. Every time I see that fucking horror gremlin's face, like I just want to fucking, get incensed.
So I'm glad we agree on this because that's exactly what I thought it was. So I ask you, Senor Fisticles, could that be what they're doing with this space alien stuff?
I guess, but what would be the physical trial that you would have to put yourself through in order to demonstrate your allegiance? Right? Like, would it be like, a literal mark of the beast, right? Like they'll come out and they'll be like, hey, we've got this like new system, right? Like, sure, digital ID is great and everybody loves it.
Well, you see,
you know what the most inconvenient thing about digital ID is? Having it on your phone, right? When you live in a highly low trust, like New Mogadishu, there's always a danger of your phone being stolen. You know what would prevent that? What if we tattoo your digital ID on the underside of your penis?
Well, I mean, the movie, of course, I think of is the one with the Screech, right?
Which
you remember the guy screeches and points? It's
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah. I think of that. That might be something like that. Like you say, they might say in order to check. I mean, so what they're saying is that they're interdimensional aliens, right? So they're sort of removing themselves from the promise of there's going to be physical creatures walking around. Conspiracy hat on, right?
Right.
What if they're going to say, well, the aliens walk among us and we don't know who's who. And we need you to put this app on your phone to verify if you're an alien or not. And the people who don't, because they think this is retarded, will just be called aliens.
Dude.
Could be.
That's creepy, you know, or they'll come out and they'll just do the full Bolshevik, and they'll be like, well, the aliens have told us that like Christianity is like retarded, and so therefore, right, like anyone who doesn't renounce Jesus is like therefore like, you know, an alien, and we've got to like wipe them all out. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah. I'll see you in the space gulag, my friend.
Oh, look, no, it'll be great, right? We can like share a nice like rat kebab together, right? I've got this excellent recipe for making like moonshine in the toilet. It'll be great, right? We won't have much, Aaron, but we will have each other.
That right, pepperoni hot pocket moonshine. Yep, let's go.
The daily beatings keep you sharp, right? It'll be glorious. I mean, I just don't. I think the goal has to be to try and bring everyone together, but I just don't see how that's going to happen unless there's a whole angle to this that we're like missing. Okay, so what if, right, they did the blue beans and they just started blowing a bunch of crap up, right? So like you know, Dateline tonight, saucers over New York City. I probably won't do New York City. I don't know, over New York City. The World Trade Center is hit by a strange beam and like, oh, it just blew up, bros, right? And then everyone's like, oh my God, the aliens, did you see they just blew up the World Trade Center again? Now, the question is, how many people would believe this, right? Like the key to these kinds of like events is always to like trigger some kind of like huge event. And then while everyone's in a panic, you get them to do the thing, right? This is how 9/11 worked, obviously, right? Yep. Like, you know, while everyone's still processing the trauma, you're like, we got to invade Iraq, right? We got to invade Iraq. We've got it, right? Why? Look, what are you? Like, you anti-American? What, you on the side of the Muslims, right? They force you into a decision dilemma. Salesmen use this tactic all the time, by the way. Like, there's nothing like particularly advanced about this. You put someone in a moment of crisis and you give them a decision dilemma and you force them towards the outcome that you want. This is really basic fucking psychology. But would it work on everyone now? I feel like there has been a distinct qualitative shift in the number of like idiots who are around, and I think it's the internet. Like, not to say that there aren't still idiots around. There are still like tons of them, boomers and stuff like that. But just, I think.
Oh, you're saying there's fewer idiots?
Yes, I'm saying there are fewer idiots, and I think that the cultural and intellectual production has passed back to the red pilled. If you understand what I'm saying, right?
This is fascinating. Actually, I was just talking about this on a stream.
Right.
The reality is that we don't have data for what happens at the end of a mass brainwashing through mass communication event.
Yes.
This has never happened in the history of man, that the entire world that we know of, that the entire world has been brainwashed into something. When people start to back away from what they've been trained to think, and when, as you say, there are fewer idiots and we're shifting more toward red pilled, what happens after that? We can't calculate that because it's never been done before. They
assumed it would just last forever.
Exactly.
Right.
They overestimated their ability to brainwash the public is my guess.
Yeah, no, the plan was they get the brainwashing in place, right? And then they make it self-replicate. Right. So, you know, I mean, you'll recall the first thing the communists seized hold of, right, like after the end of the New Left, was the schools. That's where they all went. All the Marcuse fans, right? They all went into the school system. Bernardine Dawn, all these like people, they wound up in the school system. And the idea, right, I think they basically like ripped this from Gramsci, was that under the Gramscian framework, hegemony re-perpetuates itself in the minds of the young. Okay. You know much about Gramsci?
You've talked about him before, but no, I've never read.
Right. So
Gramsci.
Antonio Gramsci was sort of like the start of like the sort of second wave Marxists, I guess you could like call, right? So like Marx made a bunch of predictions. They didn't work out. Marx predicted that the first countries to fall to communism would be the industrialized economies, right? Like, England and Germany, all this kind of stuff. But it didn't work out that way, right? The countries that fell to communism were rural, primarily, China, Russia, all this kind of other stuff, right? So Gramsci was like, well, why is that? And Gramsci came up with this idea of hegemony, the 5 pillars of hegemony, which are like family, law, culture, religion, and there's another one I can't fucking remember, right? And so in Gramsci's view, right, hegemony re-perpetuates itself through the indoctrination of the young. You've got to remember, these are communists, right? They don't believe in truth, right? They basically believe that this is essentially the birth of social constructivism, right? The idea that if you seize control of these hegemony creating institutions, you could make society into whatever you fucking want, right? Because they believe that man is effectively infinitely malleable, and the only reason why we don't have a perfect society is because no one's installed the perfect software in all of these hegemonic institutions. Okay, right? So under Gramscian theory, if you seize control of all of these 5 pillars of hegemony, right, you could perpetuate it indefinitely, because that's the way they looked at Christian Europe, right? Like, no, I'm serious, right?
No, I'm laughing because just please go on. I'm
so that was Christian Europe, right? Christian Europe perpetuated itself, right, through the church, through the legal system, through like social mores, the culture, law, all of these like things. Okay, right? If you seize control of them, you could make it into like whatever you want. It turns out you can't, right? In the same way that you can't take a tomato plant and grow it in the freezing cold, by saying nice words to it, or like giving it like a weird sort of fertilizer or something. There are like limits to functioning human societies, right? The communists keep just trying this same experiment over and over and over again, where they knock out or warp all the planks that undermine a society, and then they're like, oh, why didn't it work? And they're like, oh, it's okay, we've got unlimited respawns, we'll just try again. So the brainwashing, once they installed it, I think they assumed would just last forever, because it's not like there is any actual truth to push back on. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
right?
That makes perfect sense.
So to take like feminism, right? The only reason why women are not all liberated and on OnlyFans and polygamous and happy is because of hegemony. And once the hegemony has been taken over and all the women have been told that they're stunning and brave and free and they should have as many partners as they want and they should do like an OnlyFans, right? Then they would be happy because they had been told to be happy. The idea that there is an underlying biological reality that makes that not work is lost on them, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, I get what you're saying. This is retarded because the blank slate theory is part of their basis, right? Now, I want to point out something, that this is utterly anti-Christian, of course.
Oh yes.
Because here's a fun little verse from the Bible, because I do Bible stuff now and then. Romans 2:12. For all who have sinned without the law will also perish without the law, and all who have sinned under the law will be judged by the law. For it is not the hearers of the law who are righteous before God, but the doers of the law who will be justified. For when Gentiles who do not have the law by nature do what the law requires, they are the law to themselves, even though they do not have the law. They show that the work of the law is written on their hearts, while their conscience also bears witness, and their conflicting thoughts accuse or even excuse them on that day when, according to the gospel, God judges the secrets of men by Christ Jesus. Now, what is that saying? It's saying that people, specifically the Gentiles, have a moral conscience. And if you violate that, even with propaganda and brainwashing, and you put them in the brave new world of, say, Aldous Huxley or something like that, you can't take that away. And that's why they don't like us.
Yeah.
So well, even if you brainwashed us forever, man, The reality is we have that written on our hearts, in my opinion.
Written on our biology.
Yes.
Right? Like, you know,
biologically.
like, it's biological. Like they're always like, oh, you know, why you're so panicky. Why won't you just like get with the program? It's like I just think of them like standing over like you know about Lysenko, right?
Oh, of course.
Right? Like Trofim Lysenko, right?
Yeah.
The guy from the fucking USSR who discovered that nature was socialist, right? And he was pushing back against Mendeleev, right? Okay, the idea that genetics is passed down from father to son. Of course, the communists didn't like that, okay, because they're all like, you know, we need like the blank slate and stuff. And so he had this fabulous idea that that plants inherited like genes from their environment, basically, right? Again, you can see the blank slate shit going on here, right? So the way that you made hardy plants was to grow them in the cold, okay? And you grew them in the cold and they grew up and they would be like cold resistant. Now, you can breed cold resistant plants, but it's a much longer sort of thing, right? You got to grow a crop in an adverse environment, slightly adverse environment. Then you take the ones that cope in that adverse environment the best, and then you cross them and you make the environment like a little bit more adverse. And it's like this very, very slow process. It's how we get pesticide resistant. I mean, now they just do it by like through genetic engineering, but back in the day, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lysenko had this like great idea that we're gonna like start planting like crops in the middle of winter and in the middle of the rainy season, and like millions of people starved. I believe Lysenko is a big reason why the Holodomor happened. I mean, unless you believe it was like deliberate, I don't know. But there was all of this, you know, socialist science like rocking around the USSR at the time. And that's the way I think. Like they're like leaning over like humans, like a tomato plant. Like the anti-racism thing is like a classic example. They're like, why won't you all get along? It's like you put a bunch of bees and a bunch of like wasps and a bunch of ants in a jar, and you like stir it up, and they all start fighting. And you're like, why can't you just get along?
Because it's a war against that, what I just read. Lysenko was also a big fan of natural cooperation, as opposed to natural selection. So what did he do? He planted plants next to each other that didn't belong next to each other, and he put them too close together to see what would happen.
That's
and
right.
Millions starved.
That's right. Natural cooperation, because nature was socialist.
Yes.
Right. And he believed that nature cooperated with itself, which is like a very weird, like Jehovah's Witness sort of way of looking at it. You know, the lion lies down with the lamb, and like what, like, dude.
It's one side of the calculation, period, because there are obviously natural ecosystems where things work in cooperation now and then, but there's natural selection as well. I mean,
yes,
but this is the bias that we're facing right now, is that these retarded people think that they can just force their will on nature and win, and they can't. It's so stupid and so hubristic. It's almost beyond comedy. Like,
I mean, it would be a lot more funny if they didn't keep like killing large numbers of people. It's all I'm saying.
I know that's the only drag, you know.
Right. Okay. Let's. Should we end it there? You know what I think these people need is a trust broker, right? Someone like Manny the motivational mosquito. So we're just gonna end on this this great video that Zeke Buckaroo made. This is referencing like last week's episode about the trust brokers. I just want to play this. If you want to check out now, this will be the end of the actual podcast. We'll play this and then we'll play the bumper outro. But I just wanted to play this because it's pretty cool. It's got like a great jingle and all that kind of other stuff. Do you have any last word, Aaron? Last words, Aaron?
That was the fastest 2 hours that I've had all week. So thank you, as usual. Thank you for listening.
Yes, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We really love making this show. It's great. Thank you so much for all your kind comments. Please support the Ko-Fi. By the way.
Please.
We like money. if you have money and wish to give money, you can do so over Ko-Fi. There are like you can like donate by the month, or you can just give a bit of money, like, you know, whatever, right? Like,
he's being humble. Give the man money. He does a lot of work for free.
Yeah, it's true. I do a lot of work for free, but I do it for the love of the game, bros. I love it. I love it.
You got to be able to afford, balls for the game,
That's right. I do need to afford a new set of balls.
Yeah.
Government's been chewing on. There's like a ball tax going around. They're going to take one of my balls because I've got too many and give it to like a homeless migrant. He was tragically doesn't have any balls. Like.
Yeah, don't give Newsfist blue beans. There you go. That's
link to the Ko-Fi is in the description, and there's like a QR code at the end of the bumper. Thank you so much, Aaron. This was like awesome, and we will play you out with Manny the Motivational Mosquito from Zeke Buckaroo. Thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next week. Good night.
Buzz, buzz! Here comes Manny the Motivational Mosquito, the trust broker.
Oh, so handy!
Manny the Motivational Mosquito, the trust broker, flies from the boardroom to the street, wearing a tiny Armani suit and tiny Gucci feet. He lands on the shoulder of the working poor and whispers the same old lie he's whispered before. You're the backbone, you're the dream. Without you, the elite would just scream.
Buzz, buzz, Manny, the motivational mosquito.
The trust broker.
Ooh, the buzzing from the penthouse to the ghetto.
Woo, woo, woo. Work harder, common man.
Don't you fuss.
The elite need your blood. I'm just the trust broker.
They trust. Buzz, buzz.
Pay your taxes.
Buzz, buzz.
Vote for us.
Yay, Manny, the motivational mosquito.
The Edelman trust barometer just dropped again last week. Trust in the powerful is low and they're starting to freak. The elite got nervous, so they sent me to speak. Everything's fine, the numbers are weak, but I'm Manny, the motivational mosquito. The trust broker they trust this week. They get the profit, you get the chance to keep giving them profit.
Buzz, buzz, Manny, the motivational mosquito.
The trust broker.
Ooh, buzzing from the penthouse to the ghetto.
Woo! Work harder, common man. Don't you fuss. The elite needs your blood. I'm just the trust broker. They trust.
Buzz, buzz.
Pay your taxes.
Buzz, buzz.
Vote for us.
Yay, Manny, the motivational mosquito.
Oh, you thought this was mutual? How quaint! You give us your labor, we give you hope and complaint. The Edelman numbers say trust is dead. So Manny, the motivational mosquito, is here to broker it back from the red.
Buzz, buzz, Manny,
The motivational mosquito is here.
the trust broker.
The system's favorite peer.
You can do it.
Just not too much.
Reach for the stars.
We already touched
Buzz, buzz.
your blood, our champagne.
Yay, Manny, the motivational mosquito.
For the elite.
For the elite.
Fucking great, man. I'm gonna have that stuck in my
Oh my god, that's so good. Just the childlike wonder.
head. Buzz. Oh my
Oh,
god.
mate, amazing. Right, we out. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and good night.
We're gonna clown around. life.